Why, hello, ladies and gentlemen. GernaderJake here, and today I'm going to bring you a very different kind of video than you're used to seeing from me. I'm usually all about highlight videos and just direct rips from my stream of cool gameplay or whatnot, but today I'm actually doing a dedicated video for my YouTube audience. I get a question quite often in my stream asking for tips on the last word. How do you do so well with the last word? What is it that you actually do to make sure you get kills so successfully? I'm going to break it down a little bit, and you want to know why? Well, this week at Bungie, April 29th, they let us know that they are actually going to be buffing Hipfire Grip, which means that Last Word will be getting a big buff because Last Word does indeed have Hipfire Grip, and not only that, but you really only ever hipfire the Last Word. So this Hipfire Grip buff directly impacts pretty much every single engagement you will have with the Last Word. They're going to make its aim assist better, they're going to make it stickier, they're just going to make it an overall better weapon. So I'm mainly talking to you, the controller players at the moment. Last Word on mouse and keyboard's kind of a different beast, and I'm not sure how much that's getting affected by this change. But for you controller players, I highly recommend watching this video, as the Last Word may become an absolute freaking beast after this TWAB goes into effect. Alright, so let's start talking about the Last Word and maybe what you might want to focus on when considering using the Last Word in your PvP gameplay. Now here's the thing, I have really thought that Last Word has been a weapon that has been outstanding for quite a while now. Pretty much since, I don't know, March of 2020, the Last Word has felt phenomenal on controller, yet you don't see that many people using it. That's probably because it only has 8 bullets, you feel like you ghost a lot of shots, and there's a lot of reasons why somebody might be scared of using the Last Word. But let's break it down and kind of get into why I don't think you should be scared of it anymore, especially considering the huge buff it's going to be getting. Let's first focus on its ammo. You get 8 shots in the Last Word. The Last Word is a weapon that you really need to be aware of how much ammo you have before getting into an engagement. If you have 8 bullets, you should feel pretty safe getting into a 1v1 as long as that person is not extremely far away. However, if you only have 8 bullets, which the Last Word does, you've got to be aware that going into more than a 1v1 scenario is going to be really difficult. If you're pushing into an area that has more than one person, even if you have a teammate with you, the odds are that you're going to have to try to kill 2 people. And the Last Word, although its time to kill is extremely low, it's very difficult to get 2 kills with a full clip of Last Word. So tip number 1 really for using the Last Word is ammo management. If you are on a hunter, I highly recommend, if you're using Last Word, that you also use the dodge that reloads your weapon. If you're on a Titan or a Warlock, I highly recommend either using an exotic, I know Warlocks have them, that makes reloading faster naturally, or at least throwing on the hand cannon reloader. You're going to need to be aware of your ammo. After almost every kill, you're probably going to need to disengage and reload again. And this is not the case for a lot of weapons. There's a lot of pulse rifles, other hand cannons, auto rifles, you name it, where you can go into a fight and confidently get multiple kills if you hit your shots. But Last Word requires you to land 4 shots on each person you're going to kill unless you get 3 headshots. So unless you're just incredible with your aim, you're going to need to land all 4 shots on the first and second player to get 2 kills with it. So I highly recommend you look at the Last Word as a 1v1 weapon. This is not meant to be killing mass amounts of people. It's meant to be getting 1 kill on a Guardian, reloading, and then maybe going for your second one. So now that we sort of understand more about ammo management, and again, to even further that point, you're just going to want to make sure to disengage after your first kill. That's something that I make sure to almost always do with Last Word. I push into 1v1s where I can quickly get the kill and then dodge out or slide back, get behind cover, and reload once again. Because as I've said, it's a phenomenal 1v1 weapon and something that you should make sure to only use in those 1v1s. Alright, here's another tip on the Last Word. Understanding when to be using it as a full auto weapon versus individual taps on the weapon. Now, a lot of people I don't even think realize that Last Word is a full auto hand cannon. In fact, when I used it in Destiny 1 Year 1, it took me a couple weeks before somebody was like, hey, do you know that's full auto? And I was like, no, it's not. And I looked and I tried it. I was like, oh my god, I hold the trigger. It actually is full auto. Holy, this changes everything. But here's the thing. full auto last word is only useful in some scenarios, and I think it's really important that people understand when to be taking advantage of it being full auto and when to be individually firing it. So let's get into tip number 2, and that is understanding when to be full autoing your last word and when to be individual firing. So the last word's time to kill, as mentioned earlier, is very nice. It's very low. It's a weapon that almost against anything else, unless you're talking a special like a fusion or a sniper or a shotgun, you're gonna be able to beat them. If it's primary versus primary and you land your shots, you're gonna win that fight as long as they're not at a crazy distance. So here's my tip with the last word as far as full autoing and single tapping. I highly recommend that you look at the last word as a weapon to single tap. The reason being, the time to kill is already so low, you don't really need it in full auto most of the time, and if you throw it into full auto mode, it's a lot easier to ghost bullets, ghost shots, and just straight up miss shots. The stability is tough when full autoing, and I feel like when I am full autoing my last word, I notice a lot more, where the heck did that bullet go? Moments. So I go into most engagements with the idea of I'm going to individually tap this last word. Now here's something to recognize. Your health and the opponent's health should indicate if you're going to continue to individually tap or go into panic mode and go full auto. If you're winning this fight, you push into a fight, the enemy's weak because you've landed 2 shots already, you're full health or they have just started shooting you, keep individually tapping. Make sure you land 1 or 2 more shots, make sure you finish off that kill. Don't panic and start full autoing and maybe miss your next 5 shots and now you've got to reload and you're going to end up getting killed for it. Don't do that. Instead, you're ahead in the fight, keep individually tapping. Now let me give you a different scenario. 180 this thing. You slide into a fight, you miss your first shot and you just got pinged in the head by a 120 hand cannon. You are half health and they're full health. Well, guess what? Now's the time to go big or go home. You're probably going to lose this fight. So you need to kind of go for it. Start full autoing this weapon. It's not going to be easy, and one of the recommendations I have is aim maybe towards their neck. Don't be aiming at the top of their head because the last word kicks vertically extremely well, or extremely not well, depending on how you look at it. It kicks vertically a lot. So you're going to want to aim for the bottom of their head, for their neck area. Make sure, if you're a controller player, that you are holding down on that thumbstick pretty much the entire time that you're fighting. You need to control that stability, especially when in full auto. So if you're losing the fight, if you missed your first couple shots, aim a little bit lower than you might expect to and full auto the thing. Hold down on your right thumbstick. It's go big or go home, and the last word gives you this incredible opportunity to catch up for any missed damage. It's one of the things that makes the weapon so unique. If you're using a 120 hand cannon and you miss your first shot, you can't flip a switch and go on spray or pray mode, but you kind of can with last word. If you're losing that fight, go full auto, give it a shot. But if you're winning that fight, keep individual firing, keep making sure you land those shots. Don't risk that opportunity for a bunch of ghost shots that will lose the fight for you. Another thing to recognize about the last word, it's kind of similar to a sidearm. Now, everybody's allowed to use whatever weapons they want to use, right? But I, in general, recommend that you have weapons that kind of allow for you to deal with all ranges in the game. If you're using a shotgun, you probably don't want to also be using a sidearm, and that goes with this last word concept, right? Last word, a close distance weapon. Shotgun, close distance weapon. So, unless you're planning on just getting in people's faces the entire game, I recommend using something more mid to long range while using last word. This is why you see me using last word with a sniper so often. I do sometimes while playing Iron Banner or playing sixes and really just pushing, trying to get as many kills as I can. I will sometimes use last word with a shotgun. However, while playing trials or any game mode I think I need to take seriously, last word with sniper is my go-to. You'll want to have a weapon combo that allows you to counter pretty much any range. If there's somebody with a pulse or a scout at the back of the map, kind of guarding the angles and not letting me get close to him, and I've got a last word with a fusion or a last word with a shotgun or any kind of last word with a close range secondary weapon to go with it, I now have no ability to engage in that fight. So if you're gonna go with last word, I recommend you go with a sniper. And if you really like double primaries, which some people do, last word's got a really good time to kill, so you can honestly go with a pulse or a scout secondary to give you the long range there and then the close range quick kills with last word. It's an interesting weapon that allows for a lot of interesting play, but as I've mentioned, I highly recommend having some kind of a ranged weapon to go along with it. Now, lastly, maybe, I don't know if I'm going to decide to rant on more, we'll see. But one of the last things I want to mention, at least, is that last word needs 4 bullets to kill. Always, unless you hit only headshots. And this is an important point because, as we've mentioned, there's 8 bullets in the magazine for last word. If you happen to land all 4 of those, then you might have a chance to land all 4 of the next one. But this weapon is really intended to get 1 kill and then reload. And as far as getting a really insta kill, you're only going to be able to get that like snap of the finger instant kill if you land all 3 headshots. So that first shot is very important. If you notice a crit shot, you might be able to just bang out the next 2 and get an insta kill. But if you get that first shot and it's a body shot, recognize you're going to need 3 more bullets no matter what. Even if you next 2 are hitting in the head, you're going to need 3 more shots. Of course, this isn't considering if a teammate's assisting you. We're really just describing this in the sense of a 1v1. I'm going to try to wrap this up though. I feel like I've kind of gotten all my points out there. I've used last word in Destiny 1 in a bunch of different metas. I've used last word in Destiny 2 for a lot of the videos that I'm sure you've watched. I do tend to think of myself as a last word expert. And although people come to me and ask me questions all the time about how to navigate last word, I really think the #1 answer needs to be practicing with it. Almost all weapons in Destiny require practice to get good with, but last word's got such unique aspects to it. It kicks really hard. Its ammo burns out so fast, especially if you're full autoing it, that you need to pay special attention to how much ammo you've got in that clip before going into fights. It's one of those weapons that the more time you spend using it, the better it's going to feel in your hands. And again, with the hipfire grip buff coming that was just mentioned in the TWAB from Bungie, I think it's one of those weapons you're going to really want to start getting used to. I've gotten used to it, and I know I'm excited about that. Again, think about the ammo. Think about only full autoing. If you're really in need, you're weak and about to go down, now it's time to spray and pray. Otherwise, individually fire. It will reduce the ghost bullets. Constantly be aiming down on your right thumbstick. As you fight, you want to just fight that recoil at the same damn time. It's a good weapon. It's an amazing weapon. It's a powerful weapon. But it is a unique weapon and a little bit difficult to get used to. So go in, practice, shoot some darn dregs in the face, even go into a rumble match and get into some 1v1s. See what you can do, have some fun. Thanks for watching a very different video than I'm used to showing. Hopefully Stonewall, hi Stonewall, threw a bunch of good last word plays in the background, or maybe just showed some last word trials gameplay from this or last weekend. Who knows? Hopefully it was enjoyable. Good luck with the last word. Good luck with whatever other changes in the TWAB are exciting you. I am excited to play some Vault of Glass and get into the next season soon. Goodbye, friends. Peace out, Jungle Squad. Have a good one.